Hey y'all, so I finished up yesterday everything that I set out to do, and I just want to give you a quick look. See, it's another beautiful day. It's a little chilly in the shade, but in the sun it's so warm. So I'm gonna try not to forget anything. So I'm gonna start up here on my porch. These are some of my succulents that I bought recently at Home Depot. And so I planted a bunch of different ones in two pots. Here's one of them. And let me come over here and show you. Oh, before I get to the other pot of succulents, let me show you this pot right here. I planted two kinds of plants in it. Coral bells and, oh, the little bitty plants with the little purple flowers. I can't remember what they're called. I was going to put something else in here, but then I changed my mind. Like I said in the earlier video, sometimes when I come out here, I already have a mental idea of what I'm going to do. But then, uh, sometimes I improvise if I feel like something's not going to work or I need to change something. So that's that. And then over here is my other succulent pot of succulents. And in this pot and the other pot over there with the succulents, I had some other plants in there that I was hoping were going to come back. So far, they haven't, and I just dumped them over in on the edge of the yard in some weeds, and I'm going to keep an eye on them, and if they do start coming back, I'll just get my gopher and just grab them out of there and put them in some pots or either in the ground. And then up here is my, this is a container of succulents, and I've had this for years. And it's not pretty now because they don't look that good in the winter, but they should be coming back to life. And this right here at the end here, that's one of the little bitty plants with the purple flowers that on it that I decided to just stick over in here. I don't know how it's going to do, but I had planned to plant it with the other two, and I didn't have room and didn't have anywhere else I wanted to put it, so I decided to just stick it over in here. And then I did try to put some fresh soil in here on top of some of this soil because the soil was getting low. So I'll keep you updated on that. And then here's my little pot of hens and chicks that I repotted recently, and I put a little bit more soil on those. And so we'll see how those do as well. So, okay, so before I forget, before I show you the rest of my flower bed, I'm going to go up here and show you my two dogwood trees that I planted. What I did was I planted them up here in some bare spaces where we don't have any grass. When we first moved here, we had a landscaper come out and sow grass, and it was so pretty. But then, not going to get into a lot of details, but then we had to have something delivered here one time, and they couldn't help it. So anyway, they kind of messed up the yard, and we didn't make a big deal about it. And so I wish now we had, because our yard it's not, well, it's not pretty like it used to be. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to get somebody to come out here and smooth out some of the areas where there's no grass and plant some seed and level it back out. So anyway, what I decided to do, we have this flowering cherry tree that we bought years ago from Walmart. And this, I have to tell you, I think I paid we may have paid $25 for this tree, and it was big when we bought it. And it's doing really good. And just want to kind of give you a little glimpse of how tall it is without invading on our neighbor's privacy across the street. They have a fence up. But anyway, just wanted to show you that. And let me show you how, it's really budding well. Now, last year, the year before last, Japanese beetles really ate it up, stripped all the new growth off of it. But last year it did better since I put out the insecticide. Remember the eliminator I told you about, those tall red canisters? And I've already put it out twice this year, so I'm hoping that that's going to take care of those Japanese beetles. But just look at all the beautiful, pretty, lush, succulent growth on these. I'm sorry, my camera's fading in and out. But anyway, what I decided to do with those dogwood trees, this flowering cherry tree here, it gets pink blooms on it. And so I had ordered a dogwood tree with white flowers and one with pink flowers. So what I decided to do was to put the one with the white flowers in between the flowering cherry tree down there and this other dogwood tree down here on the end, which will have the pink flowers. So then I will have a tree with pink flowers on the end, tree with white flowers in the middle, and then another tree on the other side with pink flowers. So this is my this is the dogwood tree that has the white flowers. And you know what? It wasn't as hard for me to dig these holes and plant these as I had initially thought, because it had rained the night before and the ground was really moist. Now we do have a lot of red clay, as you can probably see, so it wasn't as moist here as it is in some areas, but it wasn't bad. And so when I finish, the instructions say to dig you a little trench around the edge of the tree and water it, and then put your bark or nuggets or whatever there. And I have to water it ever so many days. I can't remember how many. My instructions are in the house. But that's that one. Let me come down here and show you. We got another tree out here by the driveway. That's a Japanese maple. We bought it years ago from Home Depot. And it wasn't looking that great when we bought it. It had a few leaves, but we were hoping it would do well. And the Japanese beetles did get to it the year before last. But before that, I don't know if I messed it up pruning off some of the dead part, because it seems like there was a lot of it on there, and maybe I should not have been pruning it. But anyway, it's dead. It's gone now. And so yesterday, my husband was telling me, why don't I just put one of these dogwoods take that tree down up there and put one of these dogwoods there. And initially that's what I was planning on doing, but I had done some research and it was saying that that's not a good idea because the soil could be disease contaminated, and if it is, I probably won't be able to grow anything else there. And I spent these trees weren't expensive, but I spent reasonable amount of money on them, and I don't want anything to happen, even though they do come with a guarantee. But I don't know if that would be guaranteed if I planted them up there and the soil is diseased and then they die. But anyway, let's move along. Well, let me just kind of give you a little outward glance at this, if I can. Here it is. Okay, now let's move down here. I came out here a while ago and did like a brief inspection of my flower bed, because I was so afraid that during the night armadillo or something was going to come out here and dig up some of the things I planted yesterday. The other day when it was out here, it dug up some of my old stuff. Normally when it comes around, or they come around, they usually go for the fresh stuff. One year they dug up an entire hibiscus bush after I had planted it. They dug it up that night, and it was so pretty when they dug it up. And I was so upset. So I was able to put it back in the ground, and it survived, but it just never did that well after it was dug up. But anyway, okay, let's get back to what I was doing. Zoom out some. So let's see here. What I did yesterday, I did a lot of weeding, and that little device that I showed you that I bought from, I think I bought that from Lowe's. but I may have said Home Depot yesterday, but I think it came from Lowe's. Lowe's or Home Depot. But it's a really good instrument to use for getting up weed. It has like the little two prongs on one side, and then like the little flat hole like side on the other side. And that little two prong side, I mean, if you put it down in there as far as you can and just pull on it and just grab the roots of the weeds, they'll just pop right out. Now, it doesn't always, work that well, but if you don't put it in just right. But I got a lot done yesterday with the weeds too, and I still have some weeds in the bed. Some of the stuff that's in here, I'm not going to even worry about taking it out, because some of it I just think is pretty, like these little bitty things here with the little purple flowers on them. I just like those, and it's like they're more like ground cover. They don't grow real tall. Okay, so let me see. And we did have a light freeze last night, but not as bad as the one earlier in the week where it got down to 20s, and I had to come out here and cover almost everything up. And I didn't cover anything last night, but it looks like everything's doing pretty good. This is some of what I planted these two plants here yesterday. One's an Asiatic lily, the one I was telling you that will have white blooms. And then this little